Hello everyone and welcome to Evolution of Total War Games. Shogun Total War is a 2001 turn-based strategy and real-time tactics video game developed by the Creative Assembly. Set in Japan during Sengoku Jidai, the Warring States period from the 15th to the beginning of the 17th century, the game has players adopt the leader of a contemporary Japanese clan. Medieval Total War was released in 2002. The player builds a dynastic empire in Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, spanning the period of 1087 to 1453. Gameplay is both strategic and tactical, with strategy played out in turn-based fashion on a province-by-province level. Rome Total War was released in 2004. The game's main campaign takes place from the 70 BC to 14 AD. Showcasing the rise and final centuries of the Republican period and the early decades of the Imperial period of ancient Rome. Gameplay is split between real-time tactical battles and a turn-based strategic campaign. Medieval II Total War was released in 2006. The campaign is set between the years 1080 and 1530. Players assume control of a medieval state, referred to in the game as a faction, and control its government, economy, military, diplomacy, and religion on a map spanning most of Europe. Empire Total War was released in 2009. Players choose an 18th century faction and set out to achieve domination over the known world through military force, diplomacy, espionage, and economics. A special campaign follows the development of the United States from the settlement of Jamestown to the American War of Independence. Napoleon Total War was released in 2010. The game is set in Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East during the French Revolutionary Wars and Napoleonic Wars. Players assume the role of Napoleon Bonaparte, or one of his major rivals, on a turn-based campaign map and engage in the subsequent battles in real time. Total War Shogun II was released in 2011. Shogun II is set in 16th century feudal Japan, during a period known as the Sengoku Jidai, where the ruling Ashikaga shogunate has lost its authority over the regional warlords and their clans, who now fight amongst themselves for power. Total War Rome II was released in 2013. Rome II is set in Europe, the Mediterranean, and the Near East in the Classical Antiquity period. The grand single-player campaign begins in 70 BC and lasts for 300 years. However, the player also has the option to play further. Total War Attila was released in 2015. The game begins in 395 AD, during what is now called Late Antiquity, the transition period from classical Rome to the Middle Ages in European history. The main theme of the game is the migration period, which took place between 300 to 800 AD. Total War Warhammer was released in 2016. While previous Total War games feature historical settings, Warhammer introduces the fantasy setting, as well as characters from the Warhammer universe. These characters, which include monsters, warriors, and heroes, are controlled by the player or computer. Total War Warhammer II was released in 2017. The main campaign of the game is called Eye of the Vortex. In the campaign, players move armies around the map and manage settlements in a turn-based manner. The campaign can also be played online with another player in cooperative or head-to-head modes. Total War Arena is a 2018 free-to-play title in the series. Total War Arena focused on online multiplayer, mixing elements of real-time strategy and multiplayer online battle arena gameplay. The game featured 10 vs-10 battles, with each player controlling 3 units, each containing up to 100 warriors. Total War Saga Thrones of Britannia was released in 2018. The game takes place in the British Isles in 878 AD, after Alfred the Great defeated the Danes at the Battle of Edington and the signing of the Treaty of Wedmore. Players assume control of various factions, including Vikings, British clans, and Anglo-Saxons. Total War Three Kingdoms was released in 2019. Set in the Three Kingdoms period, players control one of the game's 12 factions, who must eliminate other factions, unify China, and become its ultimate ruler. These factions are led by warlords such as Cao Cao, Liu Bei, and Sun Quan. Total War Saga Troy was released in 2020. The game is set in the Bronze Age during the Trojan War, though its scope also covers the surrounding Aegean civilizations. Real-time battles take place in large sandboxes, and players can command the infantry, hero units, as well as mystical beasts as they battle opponent forces. Total War Warhammer III was released in 2022. The main campaign takes place from the mysterious lands of the East to the demon-infested realms of chaos, said to be the source of all magic in the Warhammer fantasy setting. The game has a custom battles mode where players can create customized real-time battles. Total War Pharaoh was released in 2023. The player can choose from 8 leaders, representing the game's 3 factions: Ancient Egypt, the Canaanites of the Levant, and the fragmented Hittite Empire under Suppiluliuma II and Curenta in Anatolia. New to the series is Unit Stance. Units in the game can now advance, hold, and fall back.